Yo,
Are we here?
yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let me just check and see. I see that we are looking live. Okay, okay. Now, how can we get that link? Okay, copy link, and then let me test it out in this browser here. Make sure that looks good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm gonna send you that link in an email right now. It says there's one person watching, but I think that's just me. So,
Hammer Hebrew Hammer says he's tuning in for sure.
okay, well, we put live link. I'm gonna put that in. Okay, just sent that off. And I am looking for the inevitable first pick to come in. But yeah, man, this is live to whoever happens to be chiming in. I'm just about to send this link out to a few other folks as well.
Are you outside right now?
More than outside, bro. More than outside. You'll find out in a few minutes where I'm at. Exactly. I'm not
You're
even
at the draft.
no, no. I wish it was that good, but no. Yeah. And then I don't know if you wanna have Lauren check that link or if you want to open up on a separate computer just to make sure it looks good on your side.
I can just check on my. I'll just look on my phone here. Is that Eminem on the stage?
I mean, come on, it's Detroit. Let's get Jacob Markey in on this.
Shout out Indy.
Doing a live NFL draft show. Ooh, ooh. Okay, and I can close that, and I can. Okay. That it says Black James when I am talking. That is exactly what it should say. And okay.
So we're gonna like. Are we just gonna keep talking, or are we gonna like pretend like this is an actual show and say, "What's up, Black and White Nation?" Or we're just kind of like we're going with the flow here.
Hey, we're going. We're going with the flow. Folks will be able to see this in posterity. I mean, I'll have a slightly fancier production in a couple minutes here when I start to share my screen, but I just want to make sure that we could get it up and running. And from my check, a couple things are looking good. Let's check in on the interwebs, folks. What are they saying? What are they saying out there?
I would say, is there a chat that people can chime in on?
There is a chat. There is a chat. I don't think it's going to show up on the live screen, but they can definitely chime in on YouTube.
So I just got. I need to. So I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna mute the stream, but have it there so I can see the chat. That sound about right?
Sounds good.
Oh, there we are live. 4 people watching. Hello.
What's up, folks? Now, has Chicago made their first pick yet?
Not on my screen here.
All right.
Oh, we got a shout out Heartzilla Crowd Thrilla in the house.
Let's go. Let's go.
We got Mr. and Mrs. Hammer tuned in. You love to hear it. Shout out Mrs. Hammer.
Loves the pies giving. We gotta do that again sometime soon.
Pies giving. Well, I guess we'll officially open the show black and white live. First time in our show's 6-year history. We are doing a live on the spot broadcast. We are officially Black James. We are officially YouTubers.
Y'all are looking live at a whole new era. I'm telling you, White James, it's just a matter of time till we get that sponsorship. Is it going to be beer or cheese? That's the only question.
I mean, I'm voting for great taste, less filling, Miller Lite.
Coors Light. Oh, slight disagreement there. As long as it isn't Bud Light, I still got some gripes. But we're not going to get into that here, folks. I am listening to the radio, and I don't know if I'm on a delay. Someone needs to tell me when pick number 1 comes through.
Black James, what we really need are poll questions. If we're gonna do live shows, we can have the poll question: what's better, Miller Lite or Coors Light or other? If you're going for a cheap domestic thirst quenching beverage of the adult variety, which way you going?
We all know what the best other is.
PBR.
The
Champagne and beer.
Mango White Claw. That's where it's at.
Okay. Yeah. Back it up right now. This is why we need to stick to the draft, because this is taking us back to the early days of Black and White, where we would literally talk nonsense for about the first 40 minutes of the show. The show would go on for way too long. I'm pretty sure no one listened because these two jabronis on the radio on SoundCloud thinking they're all that and a bag of chips, and they're producing below average content. I hear Mel Kiper in the background.
We have 19 folks now dedicated.
Are you on the set with Mel Kiper? Is that why I hear him?
Oh, folks, I told White James that it's a little bit of a surprise where I'm at right now. I will not divulge the surprise quite yet, but let's say I'm close to some of the action that's going on tonight. That's all I will say so far.
Okay.
Well, that's all I will say.
All right. Well, Black James, let's get serious here. Let's give the people some actual good information. I'll be honest. I thought the draft started at 6:00, so I thought we'd be talking about the first couple picks already. You know, where did Drake May go? What team traded up for JJ McCarthy? No, we're officially starting with the draft itself. So pick 1, round 1, Bears on the clock. I mean, Black James, there's almost no bigger lock in the history of locks than Caleb Williams going right here. Is that your thoughts here?
You know, it's funny because there was a chart released the day after we reported showing the percentages of first round draft success or busts based on whether or not the player picked signed a second contract with the team. And the top 4 positions in terms of good luck: center, highest rate of return, followed by tackle, and then quarterback at slightly 50-50. I think it was right on 49% of those first round quarterbacks wound up signing a second contract with the team who had picked them. So if you're telling me whether or not Shy City have Caleb on the roster 5 years from now, that is a lock. I think that's the only way I can really say that this is more or less guaranteed to work out.
So now what do we make of the Bears here? Right? Because here's a team last year, week one, they're licking their chops, thinking, hey, guess what? Aaron Rodgers out of the division. It's our time to step up. And what happens? Jordan Love clearly received the ownership interest in the Bears, lights them up week one. Bears start out. What are we looking at here? 2-7 to start the year. Played a little better down the stretch. Defense played very well at times, but they gave up on Justin Fields, and so they're going to start over in 2024. 7-10 last year. You get the feeling here, though, they might have been that one quarterback away. Here's the question for you, Black James. If you could turn down your audio just a little bit so we're not hearing it as much.
Well,
is Caleb Williams going to lead the Bears to the playoffs year one?
Thank you. Of course not. Of course not. The North is way too stacked for that. Way too stacked. I mean, lest we not forget what the Lions just did earlier today, giving Amon-Ra St. Brown the bag. I believe they just paid another player, Penei Sewell, one of their tackles, offensive linemen, as well. So Lions are lock, stock, and barrel, good to go. Packers, youngest team to be in the playoffs last year, so that tells me they've got plenty coming back for another run. And Minnesota, unquestionably the biggest story of today's draft. Are they going to make a big leap to try and get a quarterback? And if they do, as one of my favorite honesty brokers likes to say, that quarterback's going to be moving into a furnished apartment. That team is good to go outside of a play caller. So the North is as strong as I've seen it in a very long time. And while Caleb does have Ryan Big Pole Poles doing a great job as GM, I just don't think they're going to be able to either win the division or sneak in to the wild card, which is probably going to be overrun with leftovers from the NFC East and NFC South.
But think of what if this scenario plays out? Obviously, Caleb Williams going to be number one. They pick again at 9. What if one of the big 3 receivers is on the board, and you put a receiving room of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, who they signed in the offseason, who, yes, has been around for a hot minute, but here's a guy coming off of a 1,200-yard receiving season last year for the Chargers. Like he's still getting it done at age 31. If they go out and get another playmaker, or if they go out and get another top offensive line prospect, that offense gets a little bit more interesting.
That's true. That's
so
true. That's true.
I honestly look at the Bears as more of a threat than the Vikings right now.
Whoa!
That's partially because we know, as the pick was just announced, Caleb Williams is the guy for the Bears. We don't know who that guy for the Vikings will be, right? Are they going to trade up from 11? Are they going to try to get JJ McCarthy maybe at 4? Do they go and swing for the fences? Do they maybe try to go up to 3 and get Drake May? Like, that's the thing. It all depends on what kind of project the quarterback position will be for the Vikings, right? Like they're they've got some offensive guys. Defensively, it was a bit of a mess last year, but I think the Bears, because of the defense, and I do like, for their sake, not for my own sake, but for their sake, that they kept their coaches in place, right? Like it's so easy to say, all right, let's clear house again and start fresh. Or do we keep Eberflus for one more year? Let some continuity of the system work and see what he can do with a new quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit more intrigued by the Bears than the Vikings, but as we like to say, that's just one man's opinion.
And one man has indeed been taken off the board. I got the notification, so we are into it. Now this is where the draft starts. This is where I am deeply, deeply curious to see whether or not the Top Golf group date turned off Jalen or not. Is Antonio Pierce and the Raiders going to pull some magic? I highly doubt it. I think they're just going to stay pat at, what is it, 14, 15, something like that, and take Penix when he drops to them. But I don't know, White James. I honestly don't feel like this is the best fit for Jaden Daniels. If that is, in fact, who winds up going at 2, I'm just not feeling it, honestly.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. Like you're not exactly walking into the situation Caleb Williams gets to walk to into in Chicago, where you have established veterans, playmakers. Washington, it's Terry McLaurin and a bunch of no-name guys who, yeah, could step up, but it's going to be an uphill battle. And Washington, not exactly a franchise known for patience, for development. Like it's one of those spots where if you want to kind of be the savior of a franchise, Washington needs that savior. But is Jaden Daniels that guy? I mean, are you basing it off of 1 year of lighting it up against, you know, seemingly mediocre SEC competition? I don't know. I know he's a terrific player. Gets the comparisons to Lamar Jackson, I think, are legitimate, but I feel like that the immediate success for him, I'm just not completely sold that he will find that right away.
Well, the back and forth that I keep hearing is that Drake May has a lot more, let's call it experience, proven experience. I think it was 2 or 3 years of great outcomes at Carolina, whereas Jaden Daniels, he's really had just this one past year of brilliance at LSU. So it's like, okay, are you just going off of most recent impressions, or do you decide to invest in a guy who may need a little bit more time? Because Drake May was robbed of a lot of playing time due to COVID as well. So I'm I'm almost at a loss here, but I do have a lot of faith that Drake May has stronger fundamentals than Jaden Daniels, and he has a stronger outlook. I'm just terrified watching. Oh, the pick is in. I'm just terrified watching uh, Jaden get hit. I worry that there's a little bit of RG3 in there
I mean,
as well.
you've seen the video, right? I mean, I think that might be what you're referring to.
That's exactly what I'm referring to.
There's a video that shows questionable decision making when it comes to outside of the pocket mobility. I mean, there's no doubt Jaden Daniels can run by you, but there's no doubt that he cannot run through you, and
No.
he'll pay the price in the NFL. And also he will turn 24 this December. By comparison, Drake May, 2 years younger, turns 22 in August.
Whoa.
I mean, the history of old quarterbacks. I know. I think it was Chris Winkie. Remember, he was drafted after winning. I think he won the Heisman at Florida State. Brandon Weeden was like 29
Weed
years.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, after playing minor league baseball. So like this, it's going to be an unprecedented draft because of the extra COVID year that you're going to see as Jaden Daniels is the pick at number 2. You're going to see
Wow.
you're going to see Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, guys who are in college PC pre-COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels was at ASU in 2019. Bo Nix was at Auburn in 2019. Michael Penix was at Indiana in 2019. So it's not a for
Holy
sure
smokes.
determinant, but would you rather have a guy like Jordan Love who comes out and spends 3 years in an NFL development situation as opposed to guys in the college development system? Not that either one is better than the other, but if you have raw talent, I would think the NFL development process to get you from probably what, a 21-year-old to a 24-year-old. The NFL, I
Hmm.
feel like, is a more surefire way for success. But we'll see. I mean, the numbers were unbelievable. You see it there on the screen: 12,000 passing yards, 3,000 plus rushing yards. I mean, those are incredible numbers. But like you said, the RG3 comparison, can he stay healthy? I mean, I don't know much about the Washington offensive line situation, but if he's running for his life, the clock's ticking on him already. There's no doubt about that.
So we're too deep, and it's been chalk so far, which I understand has been the theme of this year, really, going as far back as the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, UConn winning March Madness, Scotty winning at the Masters. Is this really going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4? Patriots are on the clock. Are they going to trade out? The team sucks. Are they really going to repeat the mac and cheese mistake of putting a unexperienced rookie on a unbuilt team? We'll see. I haven't
But
seen them trade out.
here's the thing for the Patriots. They signed Jacoby Brissett to a short term, I think 1 year deal. So whoever they pick, if they go quarterback here, does not have to start day one. Like Jacoby Brissett can win you 7 games in the NFL. Like that is his floor is 6, his ceiling is 7. Like he is that kind of a finished, easily predictable product. So this might be a great situation for Drake May. Like I said, turns 22 going into the season. He can sit for 1 year. He might even be able to sit for 2. I know that's not the normal route that teams are going with nowadays. And let's be honest, it's worked for the Packers twice, but will it work for everybody? Because all it takes is a stretch of maybe 6 rough games, or maybe even less, for a Jacoby Brissett until everyone's saying, all right, let's get the rookie in there. Let's get him in. Don't care how unprepared he is. And then you end up with Zach Wilson, right? A guy not
Woo!
ready, has the ability, but just not ready to start in the NFL. So we'll see. The pick is in for the Patriots already.
Wow.
So
They're gonna pick.
I've got a feeling it's gonna be Drake May.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to go a different direction. Could they trade down? Sure, but when you've got a need at quarterback and you've got a quarterback rich draft, I think you just got to pull the trigger.
Holy smokes. Well, pending the result that comes out here, I think now's as good a time as any to bring some folks into my universe. Although I've got a background here, I don't think I'll be able to turn that off. But believe it or not, your boy is in Chi City, Chicago, Illinois. I want it to be where Caleb is going to be landing in a few days, few weeks. I'm sure he's got an apartment out here already. All I've got is the black and white sports logo in my background, so folks will just have to pretend that you can see the bright lights of Chicago here behind me. But that is where today's show is being live streamed from. Oh, here we go. Background none. Got it.
Look at this guy.
Here we go, folks. Welcome to the big city. I'm not downtown quite yet, but yeah. White James, we're taking this show on the road.
I mean, you're showing me up now.
We're taking this show on the road.
Oh, we had Drake May is the pick at number 3.
Wow.
But hold on, Black James. Let's Chicago.
No.
So not only are we doing a live show, we are doing a remote live show.
Remote live show.
Oh, there you're literally on the street. So you could do interviews for us.
Don't think that won't come up. Don't think that won't be a part of today's action, because the last 3 places I tried to go to, folks, Chicago is busy. Every single establishment is trying to make the most of the Caleb hype. That's what I'm seeing.
Are you at least wearing a Packers hat just to let people know that you're not there for the Caleb party? You're there to let them know who holds the ownership interest.
I'm sticking with the old school MKE. Okay, that's what we're walking out here on these streets.
The streets. All right.
I'm in the streets.
I know I know you are. I see you there. I see this guy going by on his scooter. These jabronis in the bike lanes on their electric scooters.
Okay, so it's official. Drake May.
Drake May is going to New England.
RIP. R.I.P.
Which brings us to the Cardinals, pick 4.
Yeah. So the top 3 are gone.
Top 3 quarterbacks go just as everyone predicted. So now we got pick 4, Arizona. Or is someone in love with a quarterback, probably J.J. McCarthy, that they would trade up to get him?
Wow. White James, I need you to keep talking for the next 2 minutes. I'm just about to connect with somebody. Keep chatting. Keep talking.
Oh, boys. All right. Well, we got to recap for those of you who maybe aren't paying attention to the draft, don't have it on TV, and are relying exclusively on the Black and White live show for draft results. Caleb Williams, as expected, goes first overall to the Bears. Second, Washington Commanders go Jaden Daniels, no surprise. And third pick, New England Patriots select Drake May from North Carolina. Fifth time the Patriots have picked a quarterback in the first round. Mixed of success. Jim Plunkett, pretty sure he had a good career. Drew Bledsoe took him to the Super Bowl in the mid 90s. Mac Jones, though, the Mac Jones experience wasn't too great. Started off okay, make the playoffs rookie year, but anytime you're drafting a guy's replacement 3 years after you take them, yeah, that pick did not work out. I think you can officially quantify Mac Jones as a bust, which brings us to Arizona, a team that we talked about on Tuesday, in a position here to draft a potential generational talent in Marvin Harrison Jr. at the wide receiver position. And it's a question of, is there an offer better than Marvin Harrison Jr. to trade out of this spot? If that doesn't come in, you should feel absolutely ecstatic that you're getting one of the maybe three best wide receiver prospects of the last 20 years. I mean, I've seen the conversations, the comparisons. You had Calvin Johnson, you had Larry Fitzgerald, and you have Marvin Harrison Jr., all in that upper echelon prospect. ESPN's draft analysis compares him to AJ Green, longtime receiver for the Bengals. I mean, if that's what you're getting, and you got a team with a quarterback and Kyler Murray coming back last year healthy and was productive with very little around him. So if you can get him a playmaking wide receiver, 6'3", 209, passes the eye test with flying colors, great speed, strength, and high football IQ, I think this is a slam dunk pick as we have the commissioner Roger Goodell gets his booze, reads the pick. Arizona, Marvin Harrison Jr. There it is. So Arizona, I think outside of Bears fans who think they have the first franchise quarterback since Sid Luckman, I think Cardinal fans have to be the happiest by far of their first round pick. And I think of most teams here in this first round, because you're getting an immediate impact player for a team that needs impact players. And we now
Right, James. I'm just gonna step in here for a second.
he's back. What's happening, Black James?
Black James has stepped into one of these busy establishments, so apologies if there's a little bit of noise bleed over, but I just want to react live to Marvin Harrison Jr., Mr. New Balance himself, being the fourth pick, first non-QB pick. Many folks have said that he is the best player in this draft. So kudos to Arizona. I think they are not in a rebuild, but a restructure of their team. There was a hot minute when I thought they were going to move off of Kyler, but they've clearly committed to the kid as long as he does his homework. And I loved everything you said about a homage to the wide receiver talent that has been in Arizona in the not so recent past. And gosh, I'm seeing these highlights of Marvin Harrison Sr. And I remember these days watching the Colts. Wow, it's uncanny to see the players we grew up watching. Now their sons are full-blown professionals. It's a beautiful thing, right, James?
I don't want to hear it. We're getting old. Black James, I want to give you a quick chance here to talk, because we tabled a specific topic about a month and a half ago.
Ooh.
About Jim Harbaugh return to
Oh,
the NFL. We talked about what he did in college, but I want to hear because this is your guy. That's a fact. I know this is your
1000%.
guy.
1000%.
So tell me, what do you expect to see from NFL 2.0 Jim Harbaugh, who year one with his first time around in the NFL with the 49ers takes them to the playoffs?
Playoffs.
Playoffs? But by year four, had pretty much run himself out of town, missed the playoffs, and ends up going back to Michigan. The rest was history. But here he is back with the Chargers. Black James, tell us about your guy and what you expect to see from his second soiree in the NFL.
Well, it's not just his second soiree in the NFL. He just wrapped up his second residency with a college team, well, third rather, for Stanford. There was another team whose name is escaping me right now. Is it San Diego? I think.
That's correct. There you go.
Yes, but I just want people to know when it comes to Jim Harbaugh, the reason why he's is because I have been the last 10 years, home of your life at Michigan. I wanted it to work out. I wanted the chosen son to come back home and bring home a chip. And it was 5, 6, 7 years of abject failure, getting romped by Urban Meyer. There was one question before down call that I think they should reversed and against Michigan back in the early days. But besides that, he truly was the little brother trying to work his way up to the Big Ten. And he just stuck with what he believed in, which is offensive line play. And has been his recipe for success at every stop along the way. Small college, Ivy League college, or Ivy League West, San Francisco. Let us not forget, he's the guy who got Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. And they were within a few drives of winning that game. So the guy knows how to foster results from every given. I'm still seeing the Chargers on the clock, so I can keep talking. He was talking like this was going to be the most kids ever taken from one school in one draft. These would be his juniors and seniors from Michigan. I think he said at least 10 of them are going to get drafted this year. So that would be curiosity. Is he going to, or rather, do the Chargers, Michigan players in the top 5 on their draft board for pure talent? It's not going to be JJ. That's obvious. It's not going to be Blake Corum. It's obvious. But having said everything I just said, I think this is going to be a tackle. I think it should be Joe Alt. That seems to be the top-rated offensive lineman in this year's draft, even though the entire first round is nothing but quarterbacks, linemen, and receivers. There's no way they're going to pick receiver. You can get so much value in the second or third round. I think A.J. Brown is a second-round receiver, for Pete's sake. So they're not going to take receiver. I will head on a bus back to Milwaukee if they pick J.J. McCarthy. That's obviously not going to happen. We had a crazy conversation about why don't you just trade away Herbert if you McCarthy. So, yeah, the pick is in. Let me say Joe Alt, offensive tackle. That is my best guess for where this is going. With a little bit of space for Brock Bowers, if you say a tight end. Block and catch. Blocking.
I'll tell you, Bowers is he's the wild card in these first 10 picks. Because you could see a lot of teams saying, you know what? you got the next all-world tight end sitting out there. And yeah, I might, a team like Tennessee might have bigger needs, but you're getting a multi-usage player if you go Brock Bowers. I'm with you. I think if there's ever a Jim Harbaugh pick, his first ever, not first ever, but his first pick back in the pros, you're going lineman for sure. Shore up the offensive line, give Justin Herbert the opportunities to make the throws he's capable of making. So I'm with you. Let's get this pick. Let's get Goodell back out there. Let's make this pick because I think a real intriguing team is up next in the Giants because they could go a number of different ways, including quarterback. So we'll see here. This is taking a little longer. Schefter says Chargers turned away trade offer calls for Justin Herbert. Okay, well,
they got a lot of people in this. Folks.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, next year in Green Bay for the draft, how are they going to fit 250 to 300,000 people into a city whose population, I believe, barely tops out at 200,000?
Let's go! Let's go! Joe Alt, I told you, White James. I told you.
All right.
Told you.
You got good sources down there.
It's a man. That's how you build a football team. Oh, man. I'm loving it.
How do you like this? 6'9", 321.
Yikes! And his father was in the. Oh, okay. Now it makes a lot more sense. John Alt, 1984 draft. Okay, it's in the family. It's in the blood.
All right, that's an A pick right there. Ooh, who's this gal sitting next to him? Hello. Anyways, so Black James, let's move on from Chargers. Let's talk Giants here because this is a very interesting pick. Because Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, as they like to call him, he's only got 1 year of guaranteed money on the contract he signed a couple of years ago. So they can go quarterback here if they really like JJ McCarthy. They could also say, all right, let's get Daniel Jones some weapons and go with Malik Neighbors, who, for a while, the Giants had a receiver from LSU who did quite well for them, right? And Odell Beckham Jr. Or do you go with the guy you just mentioned, Brock Bowers, that kind of that multi-facet, receiver, tight end, hybrid, H-back, whatever position you want to put him at, but a guy who, at that position in the top 10 conversation tells you how special of a talent he is. So I don't know, Black James. I personally would go receiver here, but I could totally understand where the draw of taking a quarterback to develop, he doesn't have to start right away. But I think they need some playmakers in New York, and I think Malik Neighbors is the way they go.
The Giants are just such a mess. Who is that? Pardon my language. That Guido agent who was representing that backup quarterback who was.
Oh, Tommy DeVito.
Thank you.
Yeah. He had like his one great game against the Packers.
Exactly.
Everyone falls in love with him.
He thinks he's the guy. Yeah.
He throws for like 150 yards and he wins Player of the Week because they win the game.
Get out of here. Get that out of here.
Yeah. For 1,000 yards in 6 games. That's not great. So pick is in, so we'll get that momentarily. Black James, you have a prediction here for where the Giants go?
Giants. It's tough to know what they need outside of the Uno reverse card for Danny Dimes contract. Not going to be offensive talent. If I had to guess, they're going to go with one of those defensive stars, Alice Turner or something like that, out of Alabama. Exact name, but that would be my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, they got to pick up the pace here. I'm telling you what, Black James, this is when the pick is in. Get Goodell's jabroni looking self out there, and let's keep this moving here. I'm not. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way I make it up to the Packers pick at 25.
Oh, no,
we're looking at 6, maybe 7 picks in an hour. So you're looking at 3. It's after 10 o'clock. Forget about it. I ain't about that life. So, Black James, you know what I really miss is the days of the draft on the Saturday, Sunday, like it was back in the day, where you do have 1, 2, and 3 on Saturday, 4, 5, 6, 7 on Sunday.
Sorry to cut you off, but Reef Neighbors, folks,
pick is in. There it is.
That's a death wish. I hate to write his obituary on Thursday evening, but the Giants are an absolute mess. Unquestionably, bottom of the NFC least. Got nobody to throw it to him. Got nobody to coach him.
Whoa. Brian Daboll, I wish the Packers would have fired LaFleur and gotten him. I think he's a football guy. And
okay.
I get LaFleur. He's got his his nice haircuts and his nice little tech vest for where it's cold out. But no. I want a football coach. I want a guy like Brian Daboll. Yes, last year did not go the way they wanted, but don't forget, just 2 years ago, they went on the road in the playoffs and won at Minnesota. So I don't think they're as far off as you want them to be.
I do want them to be.
I think they could surprise some people. And let's be honest, Washington is the worst team in that division. But I'm not ready to say Philadelphia is still this Super Bowl high-end contender. I think they took big steps back last year that they're just not going to magically end up back where they were 2 years ago. And Dallas is Dallas. So I'm not ready to sleep on the Giants just yet.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time for the Eagles to recover from losing both of those coordinators. They lost both the OC and DC after the Super Bowl run. So they were able to stave off that damage until the last 5 or 6 weeks of last year's season, in which the wheels literally fell off the bus. Cowboys, not that I want to turn this into a discussion, but that is what I'm doing right now. Cowboys, gosh, they got to pay Dak. They got to pay who's that corner? Who's that defensive guy who's super
Parsons?
Got to pay Micah Parsons. They're in big trouble. Yeah, as we discussed on the most recent episode, I hate how involved the new Commanders owner is in day-to-day activity. Whoa! You just talked me all the way from saying the Giants are the worst to they got a chance.
I mean, it's the NFL. You could go from below average to above average quickly. I mean, it's not that hard. And with 7 teams making the playoffs. I mean, Packers were 9-8 last year. One game over 500, and they make the playoffs. Like, it's the bar is pretty low, especially in the NFC right now, right? Like, all the great quarterbacks are in the AFC. I mean, the list in the NFC, I mean, it starts with Jordan Love, obviously. And then after that, I mean, what, you throw in Dak out there, you know, Goff, Stafford, like, Jalen Hurts, like the NFC quarterbacks, not that great. So if you get some guys around Daniel Jones, there's no reason they can't go 9-8 and contend for a playoff spot.
True that.
But at the same time, they could also go, win 6 games and Dable gets fired, Daniel Jones gets cut, and they're looking for a quarterback. Shadir Sanders is their quarterback in 2025.
All right, don't forget about that Manning kid. He'll be available in 2-3 years too. Wait, James, I want to open up the live show here. If there's anybody out there who wants to call in, we're more than happy to send you a link so that you can join this call. I will open up my SMS. I'm sure White the text messages as well. We won't stay here beyond. I want to stay at least the first 10 minutes. So we've got to wait on Tennessee, Atlanta, Chicago, and I don't know who is 10th in that list. But how does that sound like, James?
Yeah, let's do the top 10. I like JETS, Jets, if they're at 10. Or no, okay, we got to stretch it. We got to go to 11 because that's the Vikings. So that's going to be an
interesting pick. Okay, good point. Through 11. So that's easily another 30 minutes, folks. So you got plenty of time. What I'll do is I'm going to send out the link to the few trusted folks who have been on this show before. It's very easy to join. You just got to hop into a Zoom meeting. It will be live on air. So keep your eyes on your SMS, your text inboxes, folks. I'll start setting up the Zoom link here in a couple minutes. And if you want to hop on, give us your thoughts, your reactions to the NFL draft, anything NFL, anything really. We're a family-friendly show, so please keep it PG-13. But beyond that, hey, I'm just glad that we're live. This is a whole new stage.
This is pretty cool. I mean, there going to be opportunities for us, going forward, where we say, you know what we got to do? We got to do a live show. Maybe it's like a post-game show kind of setup, like I don't know, maybe U.S. Open golf this summer. Do a little Sunday evening, tournament roundup. Like, there's some possibilities for us for this live show. I'm guessing, in the future, you'll probably be stationary at home so that you can.
It's true. That's very true.
Have some more. I don't know, or just less walking to do during the show. But this is good. This is working out. Now I get why you were trying to do it on your phone. Because I'm like, why don't you just do it on a computer?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, well, okay. No. It takes White James a little while to put it
and
put it all together.
We'll see if the most special guest star will make it for the end of today's live stream. But you can't keep Black James cooped up in one spot.
You are Mr. Worldwide after all.
I had to make my way to the Windy City. Folks, I was in Austin, Texas a few weeks ago. I guess that's really been this year outside of Africa, but that's a whole other discussion. But I'm sending out those SMS. I'm sending out those text messages right now to folks. If anybody wants to join the show, hop in the Zoom meeting. More than happy to share some airtime. Oh, sounds like the pick is in for Titans. Took them long enough. Who are they taking? Who? J.C. Latham. Oh, tackle. Alabama. Okay. Well, guess what, White James? Guess who we're about to admit into the. Oh, wait. Oh, they just disappeared. Okay. Well, I can see some folks already hopping into the queue. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just admitted another person into the live show, Heartzilla Crowd Thriller. Let us know if you can hear us.
I can absolutely hear you guys. I am boiling all of my leftovers on a hot plate, as I would expect y'all to want me to do. So I'm just enjoying, life on a Thursday as you all would. But yes, I can hear you just fine.
How's the live show? How's the live show sounding on your end?
Live show sounds great. Absolutely zero meaningful commentary, and it's just been a ball to listen to. It's like, wow, are the Bears picking first? Who's picking second? What if the third pick happened to be so and so? Y'all are great. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. But yes, just literally stirring a little bit of pasta. Besides the NFL trip that you guys are making, what worldwide travel trips would you guys plan in the next year? I'm gonna start with you, White James.
Well, I know there's a number of places where I'm not going to go.
Wow!
Whoa! Shots fired.
Yeah.
Literally shots fired. I mean,
oh, we ain't going to Gaza. I got you.
I don't. Where are we going? We're going to I don't know. Wimbledon would be a nice trip to do this year. That's I would love Olympics in Paris. That would be fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I all for a peaceful Olympics. Thank you, Jim.
And you, Heartzilla, I believe you just came back from an international destination.
I did. I spent some time in Madrid. So like 4 days there and like 2 days fucking my friend's wife, and then like 3 days in Sevilla, and that was like 1 day fucking my friend's wife, and then they went back to their house, and then it was like 3 days of me by myself eating grocery food. But it was outstanding trip all around. Highly recommend it if you've got similar recommendations. Yeah, top tips. The older the building, the better. So I open the floor to questions.
No questions. Feel free to rephrase your after-school activities in some more PG terms. Sounds like you were hugging your friend's companion plenty of times. We're very happy to hear that. Outside of all of that, you got to have some input regarding who the Packers should take, what you see coming out of the NFC board, or you just
I would say ultimately the Packers are fucking weak at the D tackle and middle linebacker, like we've historically been ever since fucking Ray Nitschke, decided to take the fucking money and like take 10 grand to sit a season out in like 1966. So we've been clawing back ever since then. I think we're ready to retake the throne. I think Mike Singletary's ready to retire. and I think the Packers are ready to be number one defense in the NFC North. It all also depends on Warren Sapp also not returning to the league, but I don't think that's of much risk because I really don't have any knowledge on what the league is these days. I was talking to somebody these days about like me playing basketball games with a friend in middle school and like them cheering on G Hill being the player, and they thought the player was George fucking Hill. No, it's not George Hill. It's Grant Hill. Grant Hill. There was a Grant Hill before George Hill. People need to learn these things. And ultimately, I think this will be the ultimate downfall of the NFL draft, is people not learning the history of their path. But what do you guys think about the Bears this year?
Hard to say. I have I've already vented on my thoughts of the Bears and Caleb. I'm just trying to see what the Falcons are going to do.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Damian Ritter really changes the whole fucking perspective.
No, sorry,
changed.
sorry, Andrew. We're gonna have to
You're
we're gonna have to move on because this is insane, folks. I'm gonna pull up the camera because this is some live craziness. Michael Penix Jr. has just been taken by the Atlanta Falcons. I'm absolutely shocked. Right, James? This is the first true newsworthy moment of the draft.
I have no idea what just happened here, both on the show and in the draft. Yeah, a guy who I think was kind of considered maybe the 5th or 6th best prospect, and he goes as the 4th best. I mean, to a team that we didn't even talk about as needing a quarterback. When you think about it, yeah, Kirk Cousins, he's a short-term fix, but yeah, long-term. I mean, I love the guy. I mean, I was on him to win the Heisman all last year. Probably watched more Washington games this past year than I have my entire life, but I'm I don't even know what to say. Like this, let's say the mock draft swung and missed on this one, but kudos to Atlanta for kind of keeping this one under the ropes here.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. They've really shocked the world twice. I didn't think they're going to get Kirk D. Cousins to come down to Atlanta. And now, wow. This is something for JJ and before Bo Nix. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought those two Chicanos were going to go before Mike. This is wild. This is wild.
And you just wonder how this will affect the Vikings, who certainly seem like they're going to pick a quarterback. The Raiders, who certainly seem like they're going to pick a quarterback. The other teams, maybe a Denver, were they looking at Penix? Seattle, maybe the Rams, maybe the Jets. Like there were a lot of teams that I could have seen later in the first round as a destination for both Bo Nix and Michael Penix. And here it is at 8. Wow, that's a wow pick. And now we got Bears pick is in already at 9. I mean, do they go receiver? Do they go tight end? Do they go O-line? Like the draft has started. Like let's go.
This is bananas. BANANAS. Whoa. Okay. I can't wait to see the reaction to this. Okay. So we've got Penix. Let me pull up my draft window here. see where we're at so far. So I just got a message from Miami Marquis, now known as Indy Marquis. He is currently driving back to Indianapolis. He wishes to get called in, but he's not quite able to. So shout out to
Midwest Marquee.
Midwest Marquee. Okay, let's connect the folks back to where we're at in the draft.
Can I
Caleb.
say something? Can I say something on Penix really quick?
Go ahead.
I don't hate the pick, but it feels like they could have traded back. Like they could have gotten a pick late first round to take Penix. I don't think they had to do it and pull the trigger at 8. Like I think that's gonna be the reaction you're gonna see. I don't hate the idea of having a quarterback to learn behind Kirk Cousins. It's just, did you have to use that 8th pick to get it?
But the answer is you did, because the Raiders were chatted about being interested in Penix. And I think they would have taken him. He was there.
So I got big news. Vikings just traded with the Jets to move up to 10. So the Bears took Rome Odunze, which you hate to see it, because he is going to be a stud in the league as well. So
we know what's about to happen.
So you're going to have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and now Rome Odunze, who was, he is a complete package wide receiver. All that for Caleb Williams to throw to. This Bears team, I'm telling you, now especially, I think they're better than the Vikings right now. And now we got the Vikings on the clock. Clearly, they are locked in at a quarterback.
For sure.
And they moved up to 10.
Which one, White James?
I think it's got to be JJ McCarthy. I think he's a guy you trade up for. I don't think Bo Nix. I don't think, unless you're that worried about somebody else like the Raiders or even the Jets. The Jets might have been a team who say, all right, we got Rodgers for a couple of years here. Let's get our guy for the future. I think Vikings make a lot of sense. We talked about it on Tuesday as well. It's a very good situation offensively to walk into. So if that's the direction they go, I'm not going to be shocked.
Folks, I'm equal parts unflummoxed and wildly shocked, because for folks who are viewing the live stream right now, I've got the first 10, or rather the first 9 picks so far, and there's really no big surprises in here. No big surprises until number 8, numero ocho. Hot man, I'm taking Penix. I just, wow. And then, of course, the receiver, it makes sense. With Malik off the board, or rather, let me say, with Harrison and then Malik off the board, Odunze was the next best option. So, yeah, the top 3 quarterbacks are off the board. Top 3 receivers are off the board. Definitely the top offensive lineman is off the board. And you know what, White James? I think we're looking at 9 offensive players in a row. This is going to make it 10. This is going to make it 10 in a row. We'll have to reach out to Hembo or some other ESPN researchers to let us know if that's a first or historic. But I'm just seeing some people yelling at each other. But
I've seen some chatter here about who the pick's going to be here.
Oh, you tied into your Twitter news sources?
I just got sources that say it's going to be JJ McCarthy.
I get it. I'm a bit surprised that Bo Nix
isn't given a lot of credit for his 8 years of starting football on the collegiate level, but I guess the tape is really showing something about him. Because if there's one bet I would have made, would not have been that Bo Nix would have been the last one left standing.
I just wonder, is
I
there
did not see that.
a conception about Oregon quarterbacks in the NFL? Like Marcus Mariota looked really good at Oregon, but he's had a decent career as kind of a backup / fill-in starter, but he had Justin Herbert as like the one guy who stood out of Oregon. I just wonder. The numbers were great in college. 77% completion percentage, 45 touchdowns. Like he lit it up. But he's also one of these old guys, right? He's 24. And if you're the Vikings, are you really looking to have a guy, in his mid-20s already when you draft him?
Well, they've gone to commercial break, so there's. Well, they're in the commercial break, so wherever the Vikings are thinking, they haven't submitted their pick quite yet. But White James, I'm thinking we will stick around for Minnesota, and then everyone's favorite podcaster and the Jets. And we'll start to wrap things up here.
Yeah, that sounds good. This is it's a test show for us in many ways, figuring out what we can do capability wise for a live show. But I think this is coming through for us.
I'm just glad we're still on YouTube.
Yeah, good thing we're not on ESPN.
Actually, that's true. Pat McAfee has some sense. She locks stuff out from time to time. I'm looking at the TV, and there'll be no better time than now to bring folks live into my environment. Let me see if I can get the camera back up and running. And we're just waiting to see what happens with Vikings on the clock. Folks can enjoy this with me. I will report, White James, that people were incredibly happy with the win for these.
I'll tell you this. Vikings depth chart right now at quarterback. QB1, Sam Darnold. We saw the other guys, Nick Mullins, Jaren Hall, saw those guys against the Packers in that December game where the Vikings, they no-showed because they had no quarterback. I feel like JJ McCarthy, if he is the pick here, I think he's going to start week 1. I don't think you're I don't think you're going to waste a year of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, that group of guys with Sam Darnold as your quarterback. Like, let's get your first round pick out there. He's a national championship winning player. I don't think he'll have any problems throwing it to Justin Jefferson. He'll make McCarthy's life very, very easy.
We are. I see some folks in coordinated T-shirts on the stage, so Fidel will promote some feel-good organization, and then we will be ready for. Oh, here it is, folks. Here it is. If you're watching live, make it a sneak peek. Who are these people? Where do they get their haircuts?
Teams for tapas.
Okay, well,
Teams for taps.
they're delaying the inevitable. I see. Okay, and so trying to get some brownie points, but we just want to know who's going number 10. Is JJ.
Here he is.
JJ.
There's your guy.
JJ. Wow. Talking about Willis. JJ. Holy smokes. Long
I
show.
got good sources, Black James. I'll tell you what, man.
Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I think we're gonna have to be in Green Bay. Wait, were you joking, or was the draft really in Green Bay?
It's in Green Bay next year.
Yo, okay, it's official. It's official. We'll be there. We'll submit our press pass.
Hey, we have a year. We have a year to earn that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Wow. All right. Let me. I'll turn off the video here, but hopefully, folks are able to get a sense of where I'm at, what's going on. But wow, JJ. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they had to give up the 129th and 157th picks to move up one spot with the Jets. So what is that, like a fourth and fifth rounder, something like that? So not a whole lot, especially if this was their guy. I mean, we'll see.
Yo.
I'm
the pick is in for the Jets immediately, so they knew. Oh, this is Brock Bowers.
That was my thought. I mean, you get Rodgers, a weapon in the middle of the field. Just checking in here, see Jets. Here we go. Jets. Team needs offensive tackle, wide receiver, tight end. There you go. And that falls right into your pocket. I mean, could they have gone quarterback if they really loved one of these guys? Yes. But clearly McCarthy, they didn't love him that much that they traded down. Bo Nix is the only one that's left.
Sorry, White James. How does McCarthy have a Vikings hat? I mean, I'm sure they sent him a whole bunch of hats, but he knew. He must have known. I'm sure the Vikings told him, "Hey, if you're there, we're coming for you."
Oh, I am sure that he was well aware the Vikings were probably going to be his destination. It was just a matter of, was it going to be at 11, or were they going to have to move up to get him? And when Penix went at 8, I mean that still just blows me away, because that was the like one mock draft trade. All right, let's get Minnesota up to 8 so they can take their quarterback. They didn't have to go all the way up to 4 or 5. 8 felt about right. And then Atlanta takes Penix, and then all of a sudden, hey, we don't have to pick a quarterback until 10. So that's gonna be the talk of the town tonight, no doubt about it. Michael Penix Jr., Atlanta Falcons.
But it makes sense because he was in the second set of 3. The second set of 3 guys who argue need to sit for a little bit. And this is great. No better person to learn from. Actually, you could argue that Kirk Cousins is the next Alex Smith in terms of. Well, sorry, let me not insult him. He's better than Alex Smith, but he's the next like pro. If you need to sit behind a guy and learn the way Mahomes learned behind Smith, give Penix a year or two. Kirk, it's a great idea. Great idea.
Yeah, he's got a 4-year deal he just signed. I don't have the logistics, how much of that is guaranteed. I know it's not all guaranteed because he didn't pull that one off again, but
right.
I mean, you got to feel like it's a 2-year maximum. Like you're not going to sit Penix for more than 2 years because he'll be 26 years old. Like Cousins, short term, Penix for sure. Gonna be the long term. We got the Jets. Jets coming out here. Pick is in. We got some music going on.
Fashanu tackle out of Penn State.
There you go.
All right. You know what? That's the smart pick. That is the smart pick. That is the smart pick. You got to keep Aaron on his feet. You got to show up the front line. Actually, I'm glad. I'm glad they went this direction.
That's true. You need Rodgers to last longer than 3 plays this year.
It's still unreal. I was watching that game live, and no one in the room could believe he was out. But he was out. Just crazy. Well, folks, let me review the top 10 here. Caleb Williams to Chicago at number 1. Baden Daniels to Washington, number 2. Drake May to the Patriots at number 3. That is a 1-2-3 quarterback pick in the top 3. Many would argue that is the order of their talent. After that, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Cardinals. Excellent wide receiver, generational talent, as they say. Then we have the Chargers, my boy Harbaugh doing the right thing, taking the best offensive lineman in the draft, Joe Alt from Notre Dame, going to the Blue Skies of L.A. After that, the Giants taking Malik Neighbors. Excellent spark off the line, wide receiver from LSU, Jamar Chase, deja vu, if you will. Then Tennessee, who many people had taken Joe Alt, wind up with J.C. Latham, another exceptional tackle, this time from Alabama.
And a fun fact about J.C. Latham, played at Catholic Memorial here in Waukesha. So fun fact there.
Whoa, okay. Well, from a fun fact to the biggest news of the night, Atlanta shocking the world, taking Michael Penix Jr. out of Indiana, out of Washington. Atlanta having recently stunned the free agent market, picking Kirk Cousins out of Minnesota. So that quarterback room is very captivating. Then we move on to Chicago's second pick of the draft. Considering the top 2 wide receivers have already been taken. They Dunze, also out of Washington. And then rounding out the top 10, we have J.J. McCarthy. Arguably the best fit of the draft, landing with the Vikings. And the last pick that we'll cover here live tonight, we wanted to see what the Jets would do. And that is Fashanu tackle out of Penn State. White James, final thoughts.
I think we got a future here doing live shows. This was good stuff. It's the Penix pick will get all the talk. Everything else pretty chalky. The only other thing to throw in there, Packers picking at 25. I still would like them to maybe make a move up the board. I think offensive line could use some work. Secondary. How about my guy representing my people, Cooper DeJean, white boy out of Alabama, cornerback. He's versatile. I'm just saying Packers could use some help in the secondary. Let's bring Cooper to Titletown.
Love to hear it. Great show. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And this is the first, not the last, of live extraordinaires. So goodbye from Chicago. White James, I believe it's you and the Hebrew Hammer for our next episode.
Yes, sir. We got March Madness winner, Hebrew Hammer, coming on next show. We're talking baseball. We're going to talk draft. We'll figure it all out. Black James, great stuff. We'll have to do this again sometime soon.